Good evening, class. So, as promised, I will discuss tonight the difference between cancellation and infringement. So, in patent law, there are two major fights. One attacks the existence of the patent, and that is cancellation, while the other attacks the unauthorized use of the patent. When a patent is granted, it does not mean that it is untouchable. Even after grant, it can still be attacked. So cancellation, again, is the attack on the validity of the patent. So it's like saying the patent should not exist because it should have never been granted in the first place. The legal basis for this is Section 61. So Section 61 states that any interested person upon payment of the required fee, may petition to cancel the patent. Okay, so when we say any interested person, it means a competitor, an industry player, or someone threatened with infringement of the patent. What are the grounds for cancellation? Take note that in this particular provision, there are only three grounds. The first one is that the invention is not new or patentable. So it means that it forms part of a prior art or it does not involve an inventive step or it is not industrially applicable. Or another thing is it may be included in the enumeration of non-patentable inventions under section 22. So this is the first one, the first ground. The second ground is the patent does not disclose the invention in a manner sufficiently clear and complete for it to be carried out by the person skilled in the art. So second one is incomplete disclosure. And the last one is it is contrary to public order or morality. Then look at this 61.2. It says here that the grounds for cancellation may relate to some of the claims only or parts of the claim, and cancellation may be affected to such extent only. So it means that there can be partial cancellation. Next, the requirements for the petition. So there, it must be in writing, it must be verified, it should state the grounds clearly, and evidence must be attached. Now, if the petition was already filed, then there will be a notice of hearing. The patentee is notified, the licensees are notified, then it is published in the IPO Gazette and hearing is conducted. So this is an adversarial procedure. So think of it like a mini trial which is conducted in the IPOFIL. Now, Section 64 states that or talks about the committee of three. So this only means that if the cancellation case involves a highly technical patent, then a committee may be formed, which the committee is headed by the director of the legal affairs, and there will be two technical experts. So why? Because some patents are too scientific for pure legal review only. Then the decision of the committee of three shall be appealable to the director general. Now, if the patent is already okay, or they determined, the committee determined that the patent is finds that the case for cancellation has been proved, it shall order the patent or any specified claims to be cancelled. So there are only three possible results. The cancellation of the patent or the full cancellation, okay, it shall order the patent, okay, the full cancellation of the patent, or it can be a partial cancellation only because it says here or any specified or claims thereof cancelled. Or, or if the committee finds Taking into consideration the amendment made by the patentee during the cancellation proceedings, the patent and the invention to which it relates meet the requirement, it may decide to maintain the patent as amended, or the patent is maintained as amended. The patentee may amend claims during cancellation to save the patent. Now, what is the effect of the cancellation of a patent? The rights conferred, okay, shall terminate. So what are these rights? Okay, the rights are favorite, the Musoy rights. Tandaan nyo yan, class. Rights conferred by a patent, the Musoy. Okay, what are the rights conferred by a patent? The Musoy rights. Musoy, it's making, using, selling, offering for sale, and importing of the patent. So the rights will be will be terminated. All the rights will be terminated upon successful cancellation. Now, this is the cancellation is published in the IPO Gazette and it is immediately executory even pending appeal. Again, the Musoy. This is our favorite Musoy rights. Making, using, selling, offering for sale, importing. That will all terminate once the cancellation case is successful. Now let's go to section 71 for us to be able to introduce what is infringement. So the rights conferred to the by a patent is the Musoy rights. Again, this one. O, diba? Okay. Now, a patent gives the owner the right to exclude others. That's why we call patent rights as negative rights. So it is not the right to practice or it is not the right to make, use, sell, etc., but the right to stop others from doing this particular um, activities here. That's why it's called negative right. Now, if it is a process patent, the rights conferred by a patent is to restrain, again, prevent or prohibit any unauthorized person from using the process and from manufacturing, dealing in, offering for sale, etc., of the product obtained directly or indirectly from such process. So let's jump to section 76, the civil action for infringement. So civil action, where do we file this civil action? It is filed with the special commercial courts or in the RTC. There. So what is infringement now? So infringement is the musoy, again, of a patented product or a product obtained directly or indirectly from a patented process or the use of a patented process without the authorization of the owner. So simply, if we will define it in simpler terms, it is an authorized use, okay, of the product or the process, which is the subject of the patent. So who may sue? Anyone, okay? Anyone with a right. Any patentee or anyone possessing any right may sue. And what can be recovered? Damages, attorney's fees, expenses for litigation, and an injunction may also be requested to stop further infringement. Now, 76.3, it says here, if damages are inadequate or cannot be readily ascertained, then the patentee may recover, okay, a sum equivalent to a reasonable royalty. And also, upon discretion of the court, The court may award damages that does not may award damages three times, okay, three times the amount of actual damages. So this is discretionary, usually for willful infringement. Destruction of infringing goods. The court may also, in its discretion, order that infringing goods or implements used in the infringement be disposed of outside of commerce, or destroyed and without compensation. Now, this is for contributory infringement, 76.6. So, someone who actively induces the infringement of a patent or provides the infringer with a component of a patented product can be liable jointly and severally with the infringer. Plus, I have a very important announcement to make. If you are still watching this video lecture, I will ask as a bonus in our patent exam, what is the period for filing a cancellation case? Again, what is the period for filing a cancellation case? And that will be worth 5 points. So you can check for the answer to that. Now let's go to infringement by a foreign national. So it says here that any foreign national who meets the requirements of Section 3. So Section 3, this is the provision on international conventions and reciprocity, and okay, not engage in business in the Philippines, to which a patent has been granted or assigned under this act, may bring an action for infringement of the patent. So why is Section 77 necessary, or how can we better explain this? Because under our corporate law, a foreign corporation doing business in the Philippines without a license cannot maintain a suit in the Philippines. But this one, okay, not engage in business in the Philippines, may bring an action for infringement of patent, whether or not, remember, whether or not it is licensed to do business in the Philippines under the existing law. For example, there is a Japanese company, and the Japanese company owns a patent for semiconductor. Okay? This Japanese company owns a patent for a semiconductor, and then a Philippine manufacturer copies this semiconductor. Now, this Japanese company has no office in the Philippines, has no Securities and Exchange Commission license, does not sell in the Philippines. Can it sue? Yes. And it's because Section 77 allows it. Now, again, I have a very special announcement. If you're still listening to this lecture now, it means that you are serious in studying, and that needs to be rewarded. And what will be your reward? You will get 5 bonus points during the exam if I see your answer labeled as A to J instead of 1 to 10. Okay, again, to test if you really watched this lecture, and also for you to get instant 5 bonus points in your exam, which will consist of 10 items. Do not number your answer 1 to 10. Instead, make it instead of numbers, make it in letters. So A to J. So if I can see A to J there, it means that you listen to this lecture, and it means that you are serious, or you are honest enough that you ask for this asynchronous task and you've listened. Okay? Now, let's go to section 78, the process patterns. So, process patterns deals with a very practical problem. Okay? Because if you are infringing a process, processes, unlike products, happens inside factories, so you can see them. So what happens is, how can you prove if you cannot see? So Section 78 states that if the patent covers a process and the defendant produces an identical product, the law may presume that the defendant used the patented process. Then the burden now shifts to the defendant to prove otherwise. Okay? That is what Section 78 is all about. So I'll give you an example. A company A patents a process for producing a new plastic polymer. Later, another company sells identical polymer in the market. The polymer is new in the market. Since it is identical and new, the court may presume that it was made using the patented process. Now the defendant must prove that they use a different method. The limitation of action for damages. It says here, no damages can be recovered for acts of infringement committed more than 4 years before the institution of the action for infringement. So does it mean that the infringement action prescribes after 4 years? The answer actually is no. You can file an infringement action even after 4 years, but you can only collect damages 4 years before the institution of the action. For example, well, let's give an example. For example, the patent was granted in 2015. Okay, 2015. Now, the infringer started selling in 2016, but you only filed an action for infringement this 2026. So it just means that you can only recover the damages for a period of 4 years. So starting 2022 only. So those earlier than 2022, or the damages from 2016 when the infringements started until 2021, thank you na yon. You cannot recover that anymore. Okay? So again, as to damages, only the 4 years preceding the filing of the infringement case. Now, damages, requirement of notice. You cannot recover damages if the infringer does not know about the patent. So the infringer must have known or had reasonable grounds to know the patent. So there are two ways in which knowledge can be proven. First, if the infringer has actual knowledge of the patent. Like, for example, the patentee sent a cease and desist letter. So that's one way of acquiring actual knowledge. Or if the defendant admitted that admitted awareness of the patent, then that's one that is considered as an actual knowledge about the patent. And there is also what we call a constructive knowledge. The constructive knowledge is when the container or the package in which the article is supplied to the public contains the words Philippine patent and with the number of the patent. So there is a marking. So when there is a marking, then there is constructive knowledge. Now, for example, company owns a patent but never marks its products. Company B copies and sells. If B really did not know about the patent, A may not recover damages for the earlier acts. So does it mean libre na, wala na? No. Actually, injunction can still be issued, but it's only the damages that may be denied for lack of notice. Next, Section 81. Section 81, what are the defenses in an action for infringement? The defendant may question the validity of the patents. The primary defense is, aside from, of course, if the if the use falls within the non-infringing use or the exceptions, like for example, the Boller exception, the experimental exception, the government use, those can be defenses. But in this case, attacking the validity of the patent is a defense because if the patent is invalid, there can be no infringement, correct? So a patent must be valid first before its owner can enforce it against others. So in this case, cancellation, okay, there is like cancellation as a defense in action for infringement. So what will happen here is the court may order the cancellation of the patent because the patent is invalid. So the defendant in this case may not have filed the cancellation directly with the IPOFIL, but may file it as his defense in an action for infringement. Now, patent found invalid may be cancelled. So in an action for infringement, if the court find that the patent or any claim find the patent or any claim to be invalid, it shall cancel the same. And the Director of Legal Affairs, upon receipt of the final judgment of cancellation by the court, shall record that fact and shall publish a notice in the IPO Gazette. So we have here some other provisions like appointment of assessors in infringement actions, and then, okay, the assessor shall receive a compensation. And Section 84 class, this is very important. Again, the criminal action for repetition of infringement. So, infringement is generally a civil action. It becomes It becomes criminal only when the infringer repeats the violation after a final court judgment. Okay? That's why it says here repetition. Okay? Now, if we'll read it again, if infringement is repeated by the infringer or anyone in connivance with him after the finality of the judgment of the court against the infringer, the offender shall, without prejudice, okay, it says here without prejudice to the institution of civil action for damages. So it means that um, a, a civil action for damages can still be filed, okay? Even if there's a criminal action is already filed, you can still file a civil action for damages. So the imprisonment will be 6 months to 6 months, but not more than 3 years. 6 months, but not more than 3 years, and a fine of. As your final task, you can screenshot this now. Final asynchronous task, it says here you have to answer this problem. Your answer must be handwritten in any paper. It can be a bond paper, yellow paper, or a page from your notebook. And then take a photo of your answer and send it to me via email at my PCU email address on or before 11:59 p.m. on March 13, 2026, Friday. And that's it, class, for this special lecture on cancellation and infringement.